That's the team that plays to win for you and me.
Welcome back, Shimboners. On today's pod, we'll be previewing a huge game as we go for the clean sweep at the MCG. We're 2-0 so far. We're looking to clean sweep it, as I said, at 3-0 against the Dees on Sunday. To help me break it down as all the matchups, we're going to live react to the teams as they drop in about 5 minutes' time. Big Chief, welcome. How's your week?
Yeah, week's good. I can't wait for Sunday. We'll get another win at the G.
It'll be good. But I want to start off the pod just taking a little sidestep to our AFLW program, because news came out through the week that Emma Kearney has stepped down as captain. What were your initial thoughts when you heard the news?
Not surprised at all. I think it's Shimbona way. You make way. We've seen Swallow do it for Zeeble, Boomer do it for Swallow.
Zeebs do it for Jai and Ilmac.
Simo probably did it for Boomer. Yeah, so it's a common thread through the men's program, and I think good on Emma. She'll still be there. She'll still be pretty vocal out there. Don't worry about that.
She'll still let a spray go.
Yeah, but she'll let I'll probably Jazzy take over, I reckon, or Ash. But I reckon Jazzy, my money be on.
Right. I just want to say, how selfless. She could easily hold on to the captaincy till she retires. You know, it's not like she's passing it on and we're not in contention anymore. We're still right up. We're premiership favourites according to the odds at this point in time. So, very selfless move by her. I think Ash Riddell will be the next captain. Okay. I think Jazzy, as I said to you off air during the week, I think she comes across as more of a Ben Cunnington, sort of don't want too much media, just get to work and be the GOAT. So I could see Ash being the next captain. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jazz did it either, because I think she captained all 4 or 5 games that Carnes missed last year.
She did.
So that was the big news. She's Shimbona podcast royalty too. Obviously, we've had her on twice, the only 2-time guest.
Yes.
And obviously our female award is named after her. So congrats, Carnes, and looking forward to see you back out there this year. And that next point, we had 77 tipsters. Tipped 9 out of 9 in round 17, Chief.
I know, and we've always promised that if you get all the tips, you'll get your name read out. So it's gonna be great podcasting if we just read them all out once. So we won't do that because it won't be great podcasting.
No, we'll break it up throughout the pod, and make sure you stay tuned to hear your name if you were one of the 77.
I'll be listening.
I was not.
I was, so I'll be listening.
I had heave-ho David King's Dockers let me down. Right, so let's get into our preview of the game and some big selection questions for when the teams drop in a couple of minutes. We obviously know Luke Davies-Uniacke won't be there on Sunday with concussion. And Nick Larkey, this really hurts. I was feeling really confident coming into Sunday's game about a win. He has the longest active playing streak as our man the Frog, who's all over those sort of numbers.
He loves the stats.
Yeah, he's currently leading for most consecutive games. He's confirmed to miss with that knee, swollen like a balloon, I hear, and couldn't even get out to put any weight or
didn't do any outside training.
No, so he's a huge loss, but some big ins to come, no doubt, which we'll touch on. No point speculating too wildly. We'll wait till they're announced. But, yeah, it's a big loss, sort of, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. He hasn't missed for so long. What was it, 66 games? Yeah. I think Frog said. Yeah, and he's obviously our key spearhead and vice-captain and everything. So he will be sorely missing good form, too.
Yeah, he has been. 19 out of the 20 votes from us, and he's kicked 10 goals in the last 2 weeks. Yes. So, absolutely flying. We'll really miss him.
It just shows how brave he was to keep playing last week when we didn't have a rotation. We'd already made our sub.
Yeah, and just on how the system will change, I'd love to see, no matter who comes in, and we'll have more details in a minute, as I said, but I would love to see Paul Curtis and Cam Zurhaar rotate as one out in the goal square as the deepest forwards.
In the cage.
We know how dangerous PC is. We know how dangerous Cam is. And you know my man Cam, he loves the G. He loves the big stage. He always performs there. Go and grab Matty Whitlock's size 16s again and kick a few more snags in them.
Yes, and they've got, who's their All-Australian fullback?
Stephen May.
I couldn't think of his name. Yeah, they've got him back. He didn't play last time. So it'll be interesting. He'll probably have to take Finbar.
Well, you've actually perfectly segued this. And just to peel back the curtain, Chief has no idea what we're going to talk about, so a lot of this is just pot luck. But someone else who didn't play last time we met the D's in our 59-point win was Keziah Pickett. Now, who are you going to match up on him?
Well, he's very dangerous, and I think it'll be Jai in the midfield. Jai's probably the only one of our midfielders that's got enough pace to try and go with him. And when he goes forward, probably Stiffy Hardiman.
Yeah, I think it will be Hardiman or potentially Finn O'Sullivan if he spends some time back there.
Yeah.
That'd be my sort of two choices.
Yep, I agree. He's too quick for everyone else. Colby would be quick enough, but he's your offensive defender. And while we're talking about Colby, with no LDU, obviously George is out again still with his concussion. They're being very cautious, but he should be back next week. According to Clarko's presser, which I like, because you don't rest players when they're fit. Like, you can be cautious, but you got to play them at some stage. Anyway, where was I going? Colby, I want him running through the midfield, because I think our midfield is a bit one-paced, because Parker's not quick. Will Phil, if he's in, you're about to announce the teams, he's not quick. Who else have we got going through? Jai's semi-quick, not blistering though. Who else is in that mix?
Tommy Powell.
Tommy Powell's not quick. He's not quick
in terms of
so
pace.
I think on the G, Colby will be very effective in the back line with the wider pockets and more space to run and bounce. But I think also in the midfield, we need some spread. We need some pace coming offensively out of the midfield without LDU in there. So I'll be putting him in there. And he does want to eventually be a midfielder. He doesn't want to be an elite half-back. He wants to be an elite midfielder.
We'll just let the listeners in, because we spoke about this off air, and you think that might also be why he only signed the 2-year extension.
Yes, I believe so. There's lots of reasons, but that's one, because if he's not getting the midfield minutes, he'll certainly get them for a Tassie team. Like, that's what he's always linked to, because he's from Tassie, and we've explained that he's from the north half of the state, and he doesn't necessarily mean he'll want to go to Tassie or want to go to Hobart, but
quick shout out to the media who need to do some geography lessons.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, he'll be moving into his home state, but not to home. It'd be like moving. What's further than Geelong, isn't it? It'd be like moving to where, I don't know, in Melbourne. Not moving to Melbourne, but moving to Warrnambool.
Yeah. Oh, I got
Cunners country. Yeah, we're going off track.
Right, so the teams have dropped.
Yes.
Let's get into some serious talk. You haven't seen us. You're going in blind. So I'll start with the outs. We know the two already, LDU and Nick Larkey, but Zane Dersma, someone who's created a lot of conversation this week, he's been dropped.
Yeah, it had to be, I think.
Which, shout out to Kanga Merchant, who put up some good training notes. He was actually training as a defender this week, Zane. So maybe
we've called for him to play attacking, intercepting half-back.
Yeah, I hope they give him a chance to do that in the twos this week. Coming in, we've got Luke Parker.
Yeah, that was a no-brainer if fit.
CCC fellow member Charlie Combin's come in, and Jack Darling. So Finbar and JD as the two tall forwards. Obviously CCJ was in the squad, but wasn't picked. And without trying to bash our own too much, I'm really glad that they didn't bring Fisher straight back in. Like, make him earn it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So
the two talls, Finbar and JD.
Well, they're going to have to play three, I've just thought, because...
Oh, because they've got Chom and Dawson still. So I think Chom forward, and you don't like that because he's banged up.
It's easier to follow a trail on someone in than sitting at the front of the pack and getting smashed.
Yeah, it was either him or Shotgun.
Dawson.
But Shotgun had the best game of his short career and got in the votes and the most prestigious. That's how good he was last week.
Well, it's an interesting discussion because obviously we've got the four defenders with the two that can play forward, but Melbourne only play two tall forwards. So they've got Van Rooyen and Matthew Jefferson, who played against us earlier in the year but exited early with the thumb injury, I think, from memory. So
yeah, he played well in the practice match we played against him. He kicked a few. He was sort of lined up on Elmac a couple of times, so we'll have a better matchup this time around.
Yeah, and Elmac, another one, obviously didn't make the squad yesterday. Obviously, the AC joint still playing up. And another one that I went pretty vocal on X was the fact that Geordie Payne, who had 17 tackles, 2 goals and 14 disposals last week, still can't make the squad. And now that spells big trouble to me, because if you can't even make the squad, with the injuries that we have at the moment, then I don't think you're probably ever going to make the squad, to be honest, off the back of 17 tackles when that's been an aspect of our game that's really lacked in the last fortnight. So I was surprised that he wasn't even in the squad.
Yeah, surprising. He was playing midfield in the VFL, so that's why he got high tackle numbers. It's obviously easier in the midfield. If he had that many as a pressure forward, I think he'd be in. But, it's a bit of a worry for him because we've got a few injuries and he's not even making the squad, as you said. But they're not going to drop Cooper Harvey because they play well. So he's just going to have to put a patch of 4 or 5 weeks together, which is what good teams you should have to do. Not just play 1 or 2 good games and then you're straight in.
Someone who did put a patch together, and I think a lot of North fans were expecting to see make way this week, is Will Phillips. Good to see him still in the side.
Yes.
Although
who's the sub going to be?
Well, I was about to say that the bench is Bailey Scott, Will Phillips, Cooper Harvey, Charlie Combin, and Robert Hanson Jr. So I think probably Robbie might be the sub again.
Yeah, I reckon this MCG will suit him with his wheels.
Yeah, but they've got Scott that'll go up and down the wings.
I think you're right. I think Robbie Hanson Jr. will be the sub again.
So with Scott coming in last week as well, you mentioned before Colby going into the midfield. I'd like to see, if that's the case, then Foss go to half-back. We know Daniel's going to be down there taking the kick-ins. We know the season Hardiman's having, but I think it puts too much pressure on Hardiman to be the sort of main user. We know Daniel, but he's more the 15 to 20 metre kicks. But I'd love to see Foss go down there and even play on Cozzy. I think he's got enough defensive nous to play on him.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's a big boys league, so you've got to play in the big boys.
Then having a look at the D's, they've just made the one change. So Harry Sharp's been omitted, he dominated us in the pre-season, if you remember.
Yes, he did.
He was this bloke and he's kicked 3.
Yeah.
And Caleb Windsor's come in, which I was surprised he was dropped because, he's a pretty good player.
He is.
Young gun.
I know St Kilda, I'm just going off topic, dropped Darcy Wilson.
Again. I think that's the third time.
He was from fire last year. He was one of the favourites for the Rising Star.
North supporter?
Yeah. Have a look, Brady. What's he doing wrong? I don't watch St Kilda.
No, neither do I.
Okay.
Horrifically boring team.
Yeah, they are.
Right, so let's have a look at our forward line. We'll try the best we can. Obviously, we don't know who the third tall's going to be. There's no way they'll play 4 key defenders, you'd think. But they're a pretty good defensive unit, the D's. They've got the 2 main talls down there in Stephen May and Jake Lever.
Yep.
So it's imperative with the conditions being a bit of an unknown as well. There's a bit of talk about a little bit of rain, but it's Melbourne, it's unpredictable. But if it is a clear day, we have to change angles and make Lever in particular accountable. You can't just bomb it long to May versus Darling or whoever it is and let Lever come across as well.
And Gawn gets down there, kick behind the play and just guards it down the line. So you've definitely got to change angles and look for the short one. Maybe that'll be Big X. Use him in the corridor. Short. Because
I'll tell you what, he's in our best 5 users, X.
He is. And Gordon he'll go down the line. They'll try and force a 50-metre kick and he'll just mark it all day while May will leave a block for him. So, Clarko, don't tell us in the presser that's why we lost. Because we're telling you now that's what they'll do.
And Disco Turner, another one. He plays that third tall. He used to be a sort of third tall forward, but he's moved to the back line, and I reckon he had 7 intercept marks in about 10 minutes against the Crows last week when I was watching. They just kicked it straight to him all day.
So that's another, he's another tall. So they've got 3 tall backs.
But
they've only got 2 tall forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the game can really be exposed, and I've been talking about Zerha or Curtis playing forward, so that sort of mid-sized defenders are really small. Like you look at Jake Bowie, I mean, he competes, but he's not that size. Judd McVie, not known for his defensive work. Same with Salem and same with Windsor. So that's an area really to exploit them. But they have such a good system, Melbourne, that Lever and May really know when to peel off. So we've got to hit the short ones, lower the eyes, and draw them up.
And get on the lead. Get on the lead.
Well, the main culprit is not playing. So I'll tell you, we'll get on the lead. My man, the Moose.
Yes. Yeah, and then his job is to bring it to ground if he can't take mark of the year.
Exactly. Right, let's have a look at the midfield. And I think this week is the battle for the jacket. So X got the chocolates in round 2.
Yep.
If Big X can beat Gawn again, I think that's enough to give him the All-Australian jacket. It should be anyway.
Yeah, it should be.
But if he can go in saying, well, with the matchup, 2 direct head-to-head matchups and he wins them both, then it's going to be hard to leave him out. I mean, I'm sure they'll still find a way because the North tax.
Yes.
But it'll be hard to leave him out.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go, Big X, my man.
Then the midfield, obviously, is an area we can exploit. They are a really good contested team. Bit like, similar to Carlton, but their spread from stoppage isn't great. That's where we really... in our previous game against them in round 2, we killed them in that last quarter, spread from stoppage.
And they didn't have Cozzy.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who will give it to him. So I'd expect him to play high midfield minutes and look out because he's very aggressive.
Yeah, he is. But
no, we're not chasing him down. We're just going to have to make sure he has to dump kick if we can. We don't have to set up defensively when he's in there. And obviously Truck's done it for years. But he's probably not... He's not as explosive.
No, he's not a good user.
He can be. No, he's not a great kick.
Sorry. He's decent, but he's nowhere near on the Cozzy Pickett level.
No, Cozzy's a very good player. We'd like him. He should have followed his uncle come to North.
Well, I'm pretty sure the pick we traded to Melbourne ended up being Pickett.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so there you go.
Well,
Only got ourselves to blame.
True.
Then, obviously they've got Clayton Oliver that rolls through there, Trent Rivers, Sparrow. So I'd like to see Harry Sheasels attend a lot more centre bounces. I think the minimum's probably 6 or 7 on the weekend. Like, he's your best player. We know what he can do as a half forward, so I think he still does the split, but I don't think he's playing enough midfield time.
Yeah, well, without LDU, well, there was still got plenty of midfielders to go through there, but they're all... So Harry's not quick either, but he's quick of mind. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because the midfield is a bit of a worry for me.
Yeah.
Our midfield without LDU. I think it'll be interesting to see how it functions and who's the go-to, the aggressive at trying to get out the front user.
Well, if Colby's in there, it has to be Colby.
Well, it has to be Colby, but there's no guarantee. That's my thoughts to get him in, or our thoughts. I don't know if Clarko's on the same page.
Maybe Jai.
Yeah, Jai.
Or Harry. It'll be interesting. And Jack Viney's another one we haven't mentioned for Melbourne. He's been doing a bit of a negating role as well, so a bit of a tough one for the Melbourne coaches box. Who do they send him to if they do go down that line as well?
Yeah, they might just go head to head.
I reckon they will.
And just say, go for it, because Oliver's not quick, is he? They're sort of contested ball winners, but it's Pickett's and Track's done it against us a lot. But Pickett's a real number one target for mine. Yeah.
Now, let's have a look at the D's forward line, because someone who has done it against us a lot is Cade Chandler.
Yes, he was. I think he was best on.
He was their best player.
Yeah.
The last time we met, he kicked 3 goals, had about 20 from memory. But another man who we've really beaten the last couple of times, and I'm not sure what the matchup is, will be Bailey Fritsch.
Yeah, I think. Oh well. Yeah, who's going to go to him? Because I was going to say Elmac, but he's not playing.
Yeah, we know Archer's done the job on him. Luke McDonald's done the job on him. There's not really a clear matchup there, so that'll be an interesting one to see whether they just rotate, sort of maybe Finn O'Sullivan. Maybe Hardiman goes to Cozzy and Foss. He's got the wheels to go with him. He's tall enough. He's not 183.
Yeah, what's Fritsch, about 189-ish. So he's a bit taller, but he likes it on the lead. Not a. You wouldn't say a very physical.
I wouldn't
beast.
say if he was traded at the end of the year that he'd be putting his hand up for the CCC.
No, nowhere near it. But he can be dangerous on his day. So yeah, Foss or Hardiman, I reckon.
188 he is.
Yeah.
Fritsch, I've just looked at there.
So Hardiman's got him for height, or equal to him. But Foss is a very good mark. So all he's got to do is spoil if he's on the lead. And try and get a fist in. 2
inexperienced key forwards, as I mentioned. I mean, Van Rooyen, we'd be about 50 games now, so maybe not as much him, but definitely Jefferson, only a handful of games. So,
well, Van Rooyen likes to lead up, from what I've seen of them. So I think Toby gets him, the pink pony coat.
Yeah, I think that's
and he'll play him in front because he likes his own. So we've just got to, if we get enough pressure, we've already said it's only really Pickett who's a really good user in their centre bounce midfield. The wingers are probably better users, but
Chandler especially.
Yeah, so
caveat.
Be on the lookout for him lead up. And who's the other?
Jefferson. We spoke off there. I think Will Dawson gets that match up, and then
it'll be Dawson or Chom, depending on which one plays back.
Yeah, well, I'd love to see Chom do what he find the balance he found so well. Obviously, round 2 he played on no one basically, he did those intercept marks. But prior to getting injured, he really found the balance of defending first, but also being that offensive weapon when he got in position early and could peel off his opponent. So, obviously, without disrespecting Jefferson, he's a lot more experienced, so he'll read the ball quicker, you'd imagine, if he does get that matchup.
Yeah, well, because there's still Griff Logue. So maybe one of the talls goes to Fritsch.
Yeah, maybe.
It could be. Well, I don't think Logue.
He'll blame everyone.
Yeah, I don't think Logue. Maybe Chom goes to him. And, they either hit him, he's with him on the lead, or if they're not going to use him, then you can zone off.
It's not a bad idea.
You like that?
I don't mind it.
Okay, let's keep moving on. Are you going to read some winners out?
Yes, I am.
Right, these are the 9. Thanks to our major sponsor, SC Rings.
You can apply for a radio gig with that deep voice.
In the tipping, people who got 9 out of 9 last week are...
Right, so the first lot, Hayden T94, Bulls Cooking, Wayne, Jade and Zaid, Mr. Shan, Kanga Crushers, Kills, Todd Bond, WVB, Ruboy, Matt Sund, Matt Tulwelski, Floz 11, and our man, the Frog. He got 9 as well.
Represent.
So congratulations to those so far. Right.
So we've talked about the big All-Australian jacket battle for the ruck. Who the second ruck's going to be? Who's Melbourne's second ruck?
Well, it's been Jacob Van Rooyen.
Yep, he'll give some mobility, but he's about a 195-6 operator. So who are we throwing up against him?
Well, this is where it could cause a bit of controversy, because if Charlie Comben does play forward, there is no way in hell I'm sending him into the ruck.
He'll win the ruck against Van Rooyen.
He would.
Yep.
I don't give a shit if he doesn't play for the rest of the season because he's injured. Send JD back into there. I know he gives away the height, but he's got the physicality.
Yeah.
No, seriously, they can't put
that's
Chom
fair.
in the ruck. That's just dumb.
Don't risk
dumb
it.
coaching
Yeah.
if that's what happens. So
Boy.
that'll be a watch. Time for prediction.
JD's been pretty good in the ruck.
He
to be
has.
fair.
He competes.
Yeah.
Half his leg bone showing. Last time he was at the G, and he still carried on. Saved us the game with that huge tackle in the third quarter against the Blues. Anyway, going down memory lane. Who have you got winning and why, and how much?
I've got Melbourne winning. I've tipped Melbourne. Well, I think we're a massive chance, but I've tipped Melbourne, right? And there's a few reasons. One, obviously our key outs, LDU and Larkey, not good for us. And their ins compared to last time we played them, which is May and Cozzy are the main two. There might be a couple of others, but they're the main two. They're obviously all Australian quality players. So we lose two keys and they get 2 back. And I really, the Pickett matchup really worries me. And May's a general. I mean, we've seen live what he can do when we just kick it long. He'll just pick everything off, and it's not him, it'll be gone. And if it's not gone, it'll be Lever. So we've got to be really smart, as we covered. But yeah, I just haven't got the trust in the team yet. So I'm tipping Melbourne by 15.
Right, early days, before the severity of Nick Larkey's injury, I was very confident in a win. But guess what? I'm going to tip us anyway.
Yeah, good.
I'm going the Kangas by 11. I think it'll be really interesting. It'll go one or two ways with the loss of Larkey. Our forward line will be completely dysfunctional, kicking it long to May. Or, for the first time in forever, we might actually see some leads and some little hit-ups and some lowering of the eyes, because through no fault of his own, really, we've been very Larkey focused, and he's had to cop some knocks over the years from 4 blokes running into him because it's been so predictable.
Yep.
So if we can see some fast ball movement, get the ball in the likes of Sheasel, McKerch's hands, win the contest through Parker and Tommy Powell, who I think it's a big game for him, as sort of has to step up a little bit in terms of the midfield. So as well as Jai. So if we can win that midfield battle, get it in there quick. Get those matchups, the likes of Curtis and Zerhalf. We know Finbar will bring it to ground. We know JD competes. So, it's going to be interesting. I don't think Melbourne are damaging. And they're the worst side in front of goals as well. So hopefully they have another stinker. Knowing they're playing us, they'll kick 11 straight in the first half or something. But
yeah, we're going to have another key tool. We're going to have a 200 centimetre type in either Dawson or Chom down there.
If they put Logue forward, I'll straight up spew.
Well, that's another option.
No,
well,
he's
he
too slow.
He left Freo because he didn't want to play forward,
Yeah,
and he couldn't fit in their back line.
Can't fit in ours at the moment.
Well, he can. Well, Clarko picked him.
Well, that's true, but he won't be for much longer. You wouldn't have thought. But anyway,
I'll give him a chance to. He might blitz this weekend.
And if he does, I'll be the first one to put my hand up and congratulate him.
Good.
Because I've been harsh on him in this pod the last while, and I think a lot of it's been warranted. Anyway, a couple more perfect nines. Wados 17, Matt Sund, Mick, Corey 30, Gino, Nathan Callahan, Sesko 1000, Mo Margin, the boy from New South, Arden's Finest, North for the Flag, the Irk, Tom, Broaders 09, Ruboy, and Declan JG. Right, it's time for Baz's big call.
Yes.
So
I'm keen on what this is because mostly it's about goals. So.
Guess what? Well, I went away from that.
Yep.
And got the win last week.
Yep.
With saying that we'd win the first quarter against the Dogs.
Yep.
But I'm going back to the goals because my man, as I mentioned in the pod earlier, loves the G, loves the big stage. He's going to get a lot more looks this week. I think he's over. He's playing banged up, remember, for a while there. He seems to be moving a little bit freer. As long as he's umpire 35, who cooked us last week, and funnily enough, we've got again on Sunday, starts paying him when he's clunking him in the forward 50, then I've got Cam Zerha, 4+. My man loves the G. 4 there against the Tigers. I'm not sure what he kicked against the Blues. Definitely kicked a couple. So that is my big call for the week.
All right. Now, did you watch 360?
No, but I've heard it described on radio today.
Yes, because they showed Simo and Horst Wellmeyer were with the umpires for the week, and they showed that vision of where Cam should have got the mark and or front on contact, chopping the arms, and both the umpires to the outer side of the screen, who were the two controlling, were in the wrong position and couldn't see it. And the other two obviously didn't overrule, or they showed great vision of it anyway on that little AFL 360. What's it called? Yeah, AFL. Yeah.
G60.
Yeah, with Jared.
As Tim Watson calls it. Right.
So that's just our luck. There are other positions. That's why they didn't pay it or see it.
Let's get to the next segment. So episode 127 today, Chieftain.
Yep.
So our favourite players to don the 27. So for me, it was a pretty straightforward one this week. Aaron Edwards. Absolutely loved him. Well, you just got to think, during the age I was when he played, sort of late primary school, early teens, I mean, your eyes are attracted to that sort of player, aren't you? Like, he took huge hangers, he kicked snags, and we don't really speak about him when we talk about set shots. He was awesome.
He was very reliable.
He rarely missed, and unlike our man Suv, who we love, I'm not trying to put him down, but Big Azza could kick him from 52.
Yeah, exactly.
He had the length as well as the accuracy.
Yes, he was larky-like for accuracy.
Yeah, and one of my favourite marks of all time, 2007 semi-finalers. One of our wonderful listeners sent in when we were going through our favourite moments on the celebration pod.
Yep.
That huge clunk in the semi-final was awesome. And another thing worth noting is he was only about that 189, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he played a lot taller than he was. He had a good leap, good jukes, great set of jukes.
Good on the lead, good kick, as you said. Great, yeah. The high marking. You didn't want to stand 15 metres in front of him. He'd be sitting on your shoulders.
But what he was a player that got everything he could out of himself, wasn't he? He wasn't. You see some of these players come in that have all the talent and not enough work ethic, but he, wasn't blessed with height or necessarily speed for the position he was, but he got everything out of himself that he could, and obviously finished his career at Richmond, but had some great moments in the blue and white.
Yes.
Kicked a bag down in our first game in Hobart too, against the Giants. I reckon he kicked 4. He definitely kicked at least 4. He might have kicked 5 that day, but most players did.
Yeah.
Our man Basti, who he had 44 and kicked 3.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Lazy 44.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Who's your favourite 27?
Well, read some more names out first.
Right, we've got Luke Toomey, Big Chief.
Hey!
That's why you wanted me to read it, wasn't it?
Yes, you got to be good to pick 9.
Cheesel's a star. Bruce M. Todd Bond. Glenn Morrissey. Lucas. I don't know how to read that one. Apologies. VRS Aljak, I think. BMO 23. Richard Simpson. Jaden Stevenson. Chombin. Chili Roo. Bridget. Blazina. Tooney. 80 metre Torp. J-Mac. And Flagroos 2025. Right. So your choice for the number 27. I imagine your second choice would have been Darren Crocker. Premiership coach and premiership player.
Yes, the Croc, and we're going to go through a few honourable mentions.
Yeah, and another honourable mention, someone who you are huge on.
Yeah.
And we mentioned him a couple of pods ago, but he was probably my second choice in Taylor Garner.
Yeah, I love Taylor Garner. Unfortunately, injuries curtailed his career. He was a great third, fourth type forward, and very much in the mould of a CCC.
Well, who, for the listeners, who was your favourite number 27?
Okay.
I'm sure long-term listeners, our more experienced supporters, that's a good way of saying older generation, will have similar thoughts to you, but...
Yeah, Keith Gregg, look, former captain, dual Brownlow medalist, and fun fact, didn't win the SID in either of his Brownlow years. Only won the one SID in 1980. The only North Melbourne player to be named in the AFL team of the century, and he was named on the ground, on the wing.
I've just got his stats up. He was only All-Australian once. Did they introduce that after?
Yeah, that was all the shambles back then. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a more modern thing. They used to play carnival, I think, and he had to be a good player in the carnival. No, it wasn't really a thing back then like it is now. It's built up huge now, which is why I want my man in there this year. But anyway, talking about Keith Gregg, he was captain, premiership player, missed the 77 premiership because he was injured, played until 85, team of the century, just fantastic, smooth moving wingman who could take a mark, great kick, both feet, this sort of banana type of, when you can kick on both feet, you don't have to do that. And, also played half-back probably later in his career.
Very good. A couple of things I want to touch on before we get to the rest of the tipsters. Leckerli. Right, so I heard chat during the week from Jared Healy saying, North should probably go after him. Well, A's right. And if Brady has not picked up the phone and rang Leckerli, I'll go off my nut. Because he's playing great footy at the moment for the Giants. He's exactly... what we need. More height.
Out of contract
at season's end.
Melbourne boy or certainly Victorian?
I reckon
he's from Melbourne.
And with some of the ridiculous contracts that we've still got out there, in the terms of Zach Fishers of the world. Hello, Zach. And we've got to be going for him. We can't just be getting all these little half-backers, from other clubs.
Yeah.
Luckily, we've got to be right in the race for him. And I saw on Gettable that we're sort of in the outskirts of the Braden Starcevic free agency chase. No, 100 times no. We don't need another player with concussion issues. And I don't think he's great anyway.
Okay.
In terms of what the tenure and currency would be. I think he's a decent enough lockdown defender. He's a pretty solid kick. But no way known am I playing him in front of Hardiman, hopefully go to one day, but Colby or Foss or whoever else is going to be in the back line. No, Starcevic not... Well, I wasn't even really that happy when we're going after Maynard. And Maynard's a much better player than Starcevic and doesn't have the attached concussion problems.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with the length of deal we're offering Maynard, reportedly. It's all reportedly, but they're normally reasonably accurate. That was so widely reported, but yeah, we missed on him, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. And yeah, Starcevic, well, it's just the fact he's a free agent, I suppose. You get him for free, but who's he replacing? Not one of those young guys.
No.
He's probably not a replacement for Elmac, is he?
No.
Because he can't play third tall. Well, can't play taller.
I just don't think we need him.
Yeah, okay.
And with Brady's record over the last couple of years, just let it through to the keeper's son. Go for Leckerli, and that's about it. Some more who tipped the perfect round. Plazina 22, Tooney 88, Manic Muppet, Josh 24, Gilly 400, J Rob, Gaffs Goats, MB, Ruse, Ridgeways, Chris Dymo, and Mr. Shan. Right. So the last time we met the D's, I forgot to touch on earlier. Of course, we won 125 to 66. Some of the best that day. My man Cam, he kicked 4.
Yep.
Hopefully do it again this week for the big call. PC had 3 goals and 22 disposals.
Yes.
Huge game from him. And Tommy Powell, he was magnificent. He was the best on ground for mine. I recently watched the full game back a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And he was everywhere. He had 31 disposals and kicked a goal, and monster game from him. And unfortunately for Tommy, it's probably been a little bit too inconsistent this season for him. But with the outs we mentioned in our midfield, we really need a big game from him.
Well, it could be his midfield. What about Chom in that game?
Oh, he was massive.
Yeah, he would have got... Look, you haven't got him in front of you, I don't reckon. But I reckon he got the 5 from me in the Basti.
Well, there's a bit of a CCC tax. They don't have to be playing that well to get it. But
Oh,
yes,
he played
No,
magnificently.
I know, but I'm saying that he probably didn't need to play as well as he did. Yeah, I don't have him in front of me.
Oh, that's all right. He played well anyway. He just marked everything, didn't he? It all cleaned up the back line beautifully. Intercept marking, which is great to see. And it'll be interesting who plays forward, whether it's him or Dawson.
Oh, it's going to be interesting, and I'm sure the people at the ground will be on the socials letting us know who's warming up where.
Yes, and the goal kicking will be interesting because Chom, not the best set shot, and obviously Finbar, pretty good from within 15.
No, he's been really solid this year. He surprised me.
Yeah, I think some of them have been a bit lucky, but if you kick with a straight leg over the goal umpire's head, you're gonna more often than not get a good result. And I think that's what he's doing. That's his technique. He's improved his technique.
Hey, Shimboners. Unfortunately, the last part of our podcast, the audio didn't work, so we're just going to wrap it up here. But I just want to say thanks to everyone who has subscribed on YouTube. Almost at the 500 mark, so make sure you subscribe before our random prize pack giveaway at the 500 mark. We'll be back to review, hopefully a big win against the D's. So make sure you're keeping an eye on our socials to get your questions in or send in a voice message to all the boners out there. Big thanks once again. Till next time, go Roos.
Good old North Melbourne, the champions.